In the early 18th century, Spanish Franciscan priests established 5 missions along an 8-mile stretch of the San Antonio River Basin in Texas, which was then part of New Spain. These missions, which are still intact, represent the largest concentration of Spanish colonial missions in all of North America. The missions show the Spanish crown's efforts to evangelize, colonize, and defend New Spain. Before the Spanish colonial era, hundreds of small native bands inhabited South Texas for thousands of years. The Spanish introduced the indigenous people to a new religion, Catholicism, a common language, Spanish, farming methods, and trades, as they established these self-sustaining communities. In one generation, the indigenous hunter-gatherers became successful, settled agriculturalists. These frontier mission complexes were mostly inhabited by Native Americans and Franciscan priests. Other residents included Spanish soldiers, civilian settlers, and administrators. The focal point of each mission was its church. Vestiges remain today, but the art and decorative elements of the churches showcase the fusion and interweaving of Spanish and indigenous cultures. Their purpose was to glorify God, beautify the churches, help teach the faith, and inspire worshipers. The art of frescoing was one of the trades the Franciscans taught to the indigenous residents. Some of their colorful work still survives today. The missions were walled. Other buildings inside the walls included living quarters, workshops, kilns, wells, and storage facilities for grain. Outside the walls were croplands and ranches. Water distribution systems were built to ensure a reliable water supply. Mission San Antonio de Valero, which was founded in 1718, is better known by another name, the Alamo. Its mission church became arguably the most iconic building in the history of Texas. Construction on a stone church to replace earlier structures started in 1740, but it was never finished during the lifetime of the mission due to numerous setbacks. The mission was secularized in 1793, and the site then became a military garrison. It was called the Alamo, the Spanish word for the tall cottonwood trees that surrounded it, and a company of Mexican soldiers from Alamo de Parras, who were stationed there. It was first occupied by Spanish soldiers, then Mexican troops after Mexico gained independence from Spain in 1821. During the Texas Revolution, as settlers from the United States and Hispanic Texans fought for independence from Mexico, Texans captured and fortified the Alamo in 1835. On February 23, 1836, Mexican forces totaling between 2,000 and 6,000 men began a siege on the old mission in the Battle of the Alamo. Despite being significantly outnumbered, the roughly 200 Texan defenders held off the Mexicans for 13 days before they were finally overpowered on March 6th. Nearly all of the defenders were killed as the Mexicans reoccupied the Alamo, but their historic resistance and sacrifice was immortalized in the rallying cry for independence, "Remember the Alamo." Texans secured their independence from Mexico the next month, on April 21st, 1836. Today, Texans not only remember the Alamo, but all 5 of the historic San Antonio missions. They receive more than 1 million visitors annually and are part of the rich tradition of Catholicism in the region.